Welcome back to F1 Report, everyone. We're just coming off the back of the Belgian Grand Prix, in which Ferrari had a dismal time. And next up, we're in Ferrari's home of Italy, their typical home race of Monza, followed by their actual home race of Mugello. So I want to ask the question, are these races a poison chalice for Ferrari? We'll start by looking at the position Ferrari currently find themselves in. Now, over the course of this season, Ferrari have been much slower than last season, and much slower than many of us had expected as well. They've often had one car out in Q2 and missed a lot of points. But we have still seen Charles Leclerc pull off some impressive results, notably 2 podiums. The reasons for this slowness appear to be multiple. One of the major points is the engine. The Ferrari engine of last season was one, if not the best. However, the FIA deemed this engine illegal and had a closed settlement with Ferrari. So we have no idea what the issue was or what punishment, if any, was handed down. The new Ferrari powered engine appears to now be the slowest on the grid, with not only Ferrari but also their customer teams Haas and Alfa Romeo both struggling with power as well. Now, another reason for Ferrari's downturn in fortunes is also their chassis. It is notably more draggy than it was last year, and is something Ferrari already knew about even before the season had started. They've attempted to fix this with multiple aero upgrades, however this so far has only made the car less stable at the rear end. And the third and final point is more of an observation than a factual problem with the car, and it is that the team doesn't seem to be working well together at the moment. We've seen multiple poor strategy calls, botched pit stops, and both drivers on the radio asking for better communication in races. This all points to a team that isn't happy and isn't working together to solve the problem. Now, why would Monza and Mugello be so embarrassing? It sounds like the season might be a write-off after all. Well, Ferrari have an incredibly enthusiastic fan base, and Monza is the typical home race in which Ferrari are expected to do very well. It's never been a good thing for Ferrari to disappoint at Monza, and a poor result usually leads to a restructure. But not only that, not only Monza, but the Mugello circuit is the actual home of Ferrari. And they've worked so hard to get it added to the calendar this year for their 1000th Grand Prix celebration. So you can imagine how poorly a bad result will be received there. Now, you might be thinking at this point, how do we know Ferrari will do so bad at Monza and Mugello? They've managed to get podiums elsewhere after all, right? And that's a really great question. And of course we don't know for sure, but the Belgian Grand Prix last weekend gave us a great preview of what may be to come. The Spa-Francorchamps circuit shares similarities with Monza and Mugello in that they are all high-speed circuits which benefit from high power and low drag setups. In Belgium, the Ferraris were one of the slowest cars, in the race only beating 2 Haas drivers and 1 Williams. When compared with last season's qualifying, Ferrari were the only team to go slower than they had done the year before, adding an extra 0.4 of a second to their lap time. In the race, Vettel was even passed by Kimi Räikkönen in his Alfa Romeo, a customer team passing a works Ferrari. That never looks good. This highlights the kind of trouble Ferrari are in and what could potentially happen again when Ferrari take to either circuit in Italy. All this makes me think that maybe Ferrari are walking into a trap of their own making. But what do you guys think? Am I being a bit too harsh with that assessment? Or do you think there might be some redemption for Ferrari at these circuits? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.